everyone, Jenna here. I wanted to make my next vlog video, and I had actually intended to do a video for you guys on how to use a foam roller and how to get out soreness. But if you've been following me on social media, or maybe you're in my happiness experiment or one of my fitness groups, you know that I just completed Asylum Volume 1 yesterday. Well, I did take my measurements this morning, and when I saw the results, I felt that I just really needed to share that for my vlog this week. And so next week will be on how to keep the soreness away and how to continue on when you are sore. So that being said, today's vlog video is going to be about the Asylum Volume 1, my reviews, my experience, and my results from it. All right, so here's the thing. First, I want to talk about the difficulty level. This is definitely not a beginner program. And when I started it, I thought to myself, well, I've already done Insanity Max 30. I followed the modifier pretty much the whole time, but I did that back in January. I can totally do Asylum Volume 1. No problem. Yeah, it was the hardest month of any workout I've ever done. There were days that I hated it. There were days that I thought I was going to quit. I definitely thought about quitting more than once. And yet I loved it at the same time. So I'm sure that you've had a program out there where you're like in that love-hate relationship. Like you're like, I love to do this, but I hate to do this. Well, that's how it was. It wasn't like, I love this program, but I hate the workouts. It was, I love these workouts, but I also hate them because they're so hard. I love doing these workouts because I feel so accomplished afterwards, but my God, I hate them because they're hard. So every day pretty much was a mental battle with the exception of a few. But I found myself jumping, which I had not done in any other program before. I found myself lifting heavier and heavier weights. I even got a pull-up in. I was able to hold myself up. So really exciting, and that's why I ended up having this love-hate relationship. I hated it. It was so tiring and so exhausting, like physically and mentally, but I loved everything about it. I was like, oh my God, this is like boot camp on crack. Like, this is the best thing I've ever done. But I hate it. So I'm sure that some of you can relate, and some of you are probably like, I don't understand how you can love and hate a program so much at the same time. So maybe when you get more comfortable and you've done a couple of other programs, you can try it and see what I mean. Otherwise, I would avoid it if you haven't done any programs yet, because it is really hard and there is no modifier. Thankfully, I've done enough programs that I knew how to modify a few of the moves, so even with all the jumping there was, I knew how to modify it, and I did do that a couple of times. So now let's fast forward to those results, because this program is a month long. It's 30 days. There's not even a rest day every week. There is a relief day where you do some stretches and things. The performance line was super helpful to me to get through these 30 days and push myself harder than I had in any other program. So I was really thankful to have that, because as sore as I was able to continue and kind of push through and have the energy I needed, and my muscles, I felt like, were repairing faster. So I've been saying for the last 30 days that my clothes are fitting looser. I got a stitch fix the other day, and I was like a type 4 back in September, and they sent me a 4. Now, granted, it was brand new pants, but it was super loose on the waist, fit perfect on my legs and bottom, but my waist was like really loose. And I noticed it with my pants that I have too, that in September I was a 6, like kind of on the way out from a 6, and now I am a comfortable to loose 4, which is incredible. So all week long I've been really sticking to my meal plan, because when I stepped on the scale a week ago, I realized that despite all these things, I had gained 7 pounds because I had been eating like, excuse my language, but crap. I had been eating like total and utter crap. So This week I was like, you know what? I need to dial in my nutrition. I'm not doing myself any favors by eating out all the time. And I'm pretty sure that in the one time that I ordered out, I could have made my food for the week. So if you remember my vlog from last week, it was about how I was able to prep my food for this week in the same amount of time it took me to order the food every single day for takeout. So really successful. So over this last week, in just changing my meal plan, I got back down 3 to 4 pounds. I think it was about 4 pounds. So eating really does make a difference. And it made me realize that, like, oh shoot, if I had done this the whole time, maybe the scale would be saying something different today than it was. But nonetheless, I stepped on the scale this morning and found that I was 2 pounds heavier than I was in September when I started the asylum. Now, a lot of people see that number on the scale and they get super discouraged, and then they don't look at the side by side. They forget that those clothes that they were fitting in yesterday were fitting. And to be perfectly honest, I felt really discouraged too. I actually thought about not taking my measurements. I was like, okay, I'll give it one more day, like see if I can at least like get down to my same starting weight. Like I'm not doing any workouts or anything today. Like today is my rest day, but maybe if I just eat like the right amount, like then I can at least tell people, well, I maintained my weight this month. But that's not the reality, and that's not really what happens. And so for everyone's sake that I am helping, I sucked one up and took my measurements, and I was like, okay, the measurements, they'll be down, because when I look down and I look at my stomach, I can see it totally looks flatter, and I swear I have some like ab muscles coming in that side, you know, like that, the obliques and stuff, like I swear it's there. So Jenna, for sure you are going to have much better measurements. This is going to blow everybody away. It'll be a great like vlog post. And then I take like my arm muscle, because like, oh my gosh, it looks so defined. It gained inches. It was about 1/2 inch on my right and 1/4 inch on my left. So I'm like, well, that sucks. So then I'm like, okay, my chest totally has gone down. Like, oh my gosh, I can feel the muscles in my chest. I've really worked out my chest this month, and it's gone up 1 inch. Great, cool. So then I'm like, okay, all right, let me get to my waist, because my gosh, my stomach feels so much flatter and smoother, and it looks more defined. I can see it in the mirror. My waist must have gone down. It's gone up 1 inch. Okay, so now I'm super discouraged, but measure my hips. It's also gone up. I think it was like 1/2 inch or 1/4 inch. So not much, but it's gone up. I measure my thighs. They've gone up 1/4 inch each. So overall, between all those things, my body is 3 inches bigger than it was in September. So at this point, I'm feeling really, really discouraged, because I am the type of person that when somebody's like, oh, well, the scale says I gained weight, I'm like, well, check your measurements. Well, now my measurements are saying that I am bigger, which is not what I want. But I take my after pictures and I put them side by side, and what I see in them is minimal. To me, when you look at yourself in a picture, sometimes it's hard to see it, or when you look at yourself in the mirror, it's really hard to see it. But when you see the side by side and you go, you know what? My abs really do look more defined, and they do really look flatter. They're not hanging over the edge of those shorts like they were last year. They are in line with the shorts. I mean, that's pretty cool. So it doesn't, bottom line here, it doesn't matter what the scale says. It doesn't matter what your measurements say. And maybe you're looking at those pictures side by side and barely seeing the difference, because that's how I felt today. But then I said to myself, hey, remember those pants that you tried on that were tight last, at the beginning of the month, or the beginning of this whole asylum time? They are fitting loosely now. So tell me, Jenna, how did your waist inches go up? How did your hips inches go up? But you are actually fitting in those clothes better. So there's so many things. The whole point of this vlog is to tell you that there's a lot of things to gauge your progress on. And don't let it be just one thing that is the one thing that you're following. Don't let it be just a scale. Don't let it be just measurements. Don't let it be just pictures. And don't even let it be just clothes. Let it be all of them. Look at it all. Because when I see my arm muscle from September to now, I can see the difference. I can see that little defined line here that you can't see because I'm wearing a long sleeve shirt, but I can see that line here. And I can see that when I shake it, this isn't like flapping around as much. I can feel that when I'm jumping higher. I can see on my progress, the side by side, at the beginning of this whole program, I was doing like 1 3/4 of a push-up, and yesterday I did like 7 of them. I can see that the push-ups, the lat push-ups that I had to do in the fit test in the beginning, that I did like 6 of them, and yesterday I did like 15. I can see that my mountain climber switch kicks have gone from like 24, 20, 18, 17, whatever it was, somewhere around there, to 40. So look at that. Look at your fitness level. Take those side by sides and embrace them. Don't get stuck on any number, whether it's your clothing size or your weight or your measurements or pictures, or even like the fit test had something not increased, had I not improved on something, I wouldn't get stuck on that one number. It's really hard. It's a long journey, but you're in this for the long haul, and you're in this to make yourself better. So don't let any number define you. And if you're really struggling with this, I encourage you to shoot me a message or comment below, because I would love to help you and love to get you on a program that you want. And for those that are wondering what's next after this super advanced Asylum program, I am not doing Asylum Volume 2 next month. I have decided that with my nutrition being as off as it was this past month, that it was time for me to go back to basics. So I am going back to the very first program that I ever did with Beachbody, and the program that started me out on this whole year-long journey, the 21-Day Fix. It is a beginner program, so if you are interested for my 1-year anniversary joining me, I would love to have someone to do this with so that I don't have to do it by myself, and someone to help keep me accountable so that I do take advantage of that meal plan. And hopefully we can both get to our goal weight and our goal body and our goal pant size and our goal fitness achievements, whatever it is. I'm here to help. So shoot me a message or comment below. Otherwise, have a great day, and don't let that number define you. Whatever the number is, don't let it define you. You are you, and you are beautiful. Have a good one. Bye.